starting record one now. Hi, Lou. Welcome back to Part 3.
Hello, Debbie, and hello to everybody who's listening.
And please, listeners, hit the subscribe button so that you can catch up with more and more shows from me and Lou. So, Lou, you was just discussing in Part 2 about trauma bonding. Can you explain to the listeners what trauma bonding is?
Right. Trauma bonding is where we have something really horrible that happens that creates a almost like a timestamp within our memories and our psychology and in our biochemistry. And it creates a trauma that is stored within our emotional body. For example, with this trauma bonding, it tends to alternate. So, you know, it's a narcissist may create a drama, because where there's drama, there's always trauma. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So it will create a row. It will create something that puts the target, you know, in a state of fight or flight, you know, ready to run or fight. And then it will come back with something wonderful. So it's the classic fight till you almost kill each other and then kiss and make up, right? So, you know,
It's high, yeah.
Get that high again.
Yeah,
you know,
it's going from extremes because, you know, they're very good at destabilising. So you're happy thinking, oh, yeah, we're going along great. Everything's wonderful. All's rosy in the garden. And then the narcissist will come home and say, hey, darling, I love you, but I'm going to split with you because I can't be here anymore. I can't handle this relationship anymore. So I'm off. Bye. That's the trauma. And then 3-4 days later, hours later, weeks later, they will come back and you're just so happy to see them, so happy to take them back. And that's the bonding.
Yeah, and then it is usually consummated with the great make-up sex as well, which anchors the trauma into your body.
Yeah,
you know. So what happens is on the neurochemistry level is you have got the adrenaline and cortisol being kicked off as well, right? Which is imprinting into your neural pathways as well. So you're starting to create neural pathways in your brain to expect this type of behavior and it being normal, because it's so traumatic, and the mind is a wonderful you know, concept.
Really, it's a wonderful piece of equipment.
It is. So because you're in survival mode, so what it will do is it will the makeup and the love bombing bit. It's like mini love bombs. It's trauma bomb and then a love bomb, a trauma bomb and then a love bomb, right? Because it's creating this disparity, you know. So it's like crashing lows and high highs, crashing lows and high highs. And what this does is this creates a state of cognitive dissonance. So you know that your head is telling you something's not right here. I need to get out of this. This is awful, right? And the majority of the time, it is absolutely awful. You know, you feel rubbish. Yeah, it's hell. It is hell. Let's call it out for what it is, you know. But you hang on for those moments, you know, of when it's like, you know.
And that's all they are. They're just fleeting moments.
And then they don't. It's not by happenstance. It is designed and created that way. David Icke talks about problem, reaction, solution, and this is exactly the methodology that is being used. They create a problem, you have reaction, a perfectly normal reaction, and then they come in with the solution, and then you hand over the goods.
Yeah, that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know? And you will acquiesce and you will give them anything and everything that they want because you're in trauma and you believe you can't live without them, and you will do absolutely anything to keep yourself in that hell.
And of course, because what you're doing as well It is, because what's going on neurobiologically is that you are becoming addicted to the oxytocin, the cuddle hormone. You're becoming addicted to the serotonin, which is the happy hormone, and the dopamine hormone, which is the satisfaction hormone. And these all act upon the addiction centers in the brain. So you actually do become addicted.
Yeah.
You are like a drug addict. You are like a methamphetamine addict or a heroin addict or a cocaine addict. You know, and you are addicted to this person.
Yeah. Well, they say recovering from narcissistic abuse is 10 times harder than getting off of heroin.
Yeah. Well, there's only
because it's not a normal breakup. You're not dealing with a normal human being.
No. See, you know, usually sort of, you know, most people will accept that we have relationships, we get together with somebody, we journey for a little while, you know, we both grow, we work out that actually we might want different things, and we come to an agreement that, you know, it's not working for either of us. You know, we care about each other, you know, and we agree to go our separate ways, but we're going to remain friends afterwards, and we remain cordial. You know, that is normal, mature behavior. This is the absolute antithesis to this. This is, you know, and this is where we're going to come into, because trauma bonding is exhausting, right? So you end up literally, you know, like because it infects you like a virus. And if you ever get a virus on your computer, you know that your computer runs slower and slower and slower and slower until it eventually crashes, and then it doesn't work anymore, right? This is what is happening to you, except you don't understand or realize this at the time. So you become almost like just robotic, right? At this point, the narcissist is not getting anything out of you, so it is now going to go into the discard. Right, this is where that you are thrown away like an old pizza box, because it has had its fill from you, and you know by this time it has groomed another supply behind your back, so it's cheating left, right, and centre. It's probably got 2 or 3 on the go, right? And they up and leave, gone, no explanation, or the most pathetic or ridiculous or flippant of arguments. You know, you didn't, you know, put sugar in their tea, and that was the straw that broke the camel back, and then they're packing their stuff and exit stage left with flourish, and they're out the door, and you're left not really caring about anything, because you are by this point so emotionally numb. You don't know, if you coin a phrase, if it's breakfast time or Tuesday. You know,
the thing is that you do care. The only thing you care about is them. You don't care about you. You're worrying about them. I hope they're okay. They're going through hell. I hope they're safe. I hope he contacts or she contacts me. You find yourself, you're obsessed with, because they make you obsessed with them.
Yeah. And of course you worry, because you can see that something's not quite right. You know, there's all sorts of things that are going on. You know, it's sort of like, well, maybe they're having a breakdown or a midlife crisis, or you know, they're suffering from anxiety, or they might be depression or schizophrenia, or they bipolar, or you know, you've got all this sort of kind of thing going on. All the while that you are focusing on them, you are not focusing upon you. You are burning out your neural pathways, your energy, thinking about them, and they are long gone. They haven't given you a backward glance. They don't care. You're an old pizza box. They care about as much as you would a pizza box that you put in the bin last Tuesday. You know, it's gone, taken out with the rubbish. It's gone, right? They're on to the next one, because then the whole process, they start over again, because it's like a cycle, because they're a parasite, and like a parasite, it has a life cycle. Now, don't think that they've forgotten about you for 1 minute, because they haven't. Right, all they have done with you is they have put you on the back burner, because they know they can't get any more out of you.
For
now, right? So they've gone off to find another one that will do for now. They'll start that again, because they like the hunt, they like the chase, and they're going to continue this with some other poor human being that they're going to take on the same journey, and you know, into
the predators, as the title says.
Yeah, they're predators. So exactly.
Living with one person happily ever after, well, that kills their natural predatory instinct.
Of course it does.
Because they're addicted. They're addicted to the whole journey.
Yeah. Right. Well, at this point, the target usually has had everything drained from them. It's not just on the emotional and physical. They've been isolated as well, because we'll talk about that in a minute. But they're isolated. They're isolated, so they've been taken away from their usual support network, family and friends. And they have usually been drained of all their finances, left without the price of a tea bag, and they're really on their uppers, right? They can't work.
Too much of a state.
No,
They can just about function.
Yeah, just about function, and they would be in a state that we would traditionally call, having a nervous breakdown, having a complete psychological breakdown and being non-functional. And this is very, very, very painful, very, very difficult, extremely distressing, and very, very difficult to recover from, because you have sustained physical damage to your brain through this emotional abuse. There is enough evidence, scientific medical evidence through research, that shows that the PTSD that you now have is not just a case of, I'll just get over it. It is an actual physical phenomena, and the body has to try to put itself right, and it's very, very difficult to reset. And normally, sort of like 3-6 months down the line, because quite often they'll disappear for this amount of time once they hit what I call this watershed draining, and you are absolutely empty. If you was a vehicle, that you're broken down, with the red light on, you've got no vapors in the tank, you're not going anywhere without, a good couple of gallons of diesel in the tank, and you're on the side of the road. It's going nowhere. This is the state that you are in, absolutely, completely and utterly drained.
And just going back, Lou, like you were saying about damage on the brain, the narcissists are very, very immature. They're very childish. And what they'll do is because our emotions are all linked to our inner child, what they will do is they will make you as childish as them.
Absolutely, and they bring you down onto their level. So being mature, or trying to have some maturity about it, it doesn't work. It's like trying to talk astrophysics to an earthworm. It's not happening. It's not happening.
No.
They can't hear you. And trying to come down onto their level, it totally goes against sort of like your own sort of like sensibilities. But you're in this state of cognitive dissonance, and you're naturally trying to create a dialogue where you can both benefit, and move forward with some sort of reconciliation, in a win-win situation. And that's not going to happen, because that's not what the narcissist is about. And so this is sort of like where you're at. So just as you're sort of like beginning to pick yourself up 6 months down the line, when you sat and psychoanalyzed yourself and just starting to get yourself back on the feet, they'll start what we call the hoovering process, and we'll speak about that in part 4.
Okay, Lou. The hoovering process, and we'll also mention about gaslighting too,
and isolation as well.
And isolation in part 4. Well, listeners, we're going over now to part 4 of our show. I know I sound like a broken record, but we need your support. So if you could please subscribe, and you will be the first ones when we upload videos to hear our conversations. Anyway, see you all over on part 4.
See you soon.
See you soon.